Hello, and welcome back to MS Journey with Christopher. Today I'd like to talk about a cooling vest a little bit. It's been hot here in the Pacific Northwest. Where I live in Oregon, it was like 112 degrees on my front porch yesterday, which was really hot. But I want to go over this cooling vest a little bit that I've talked about that I got, and I finally got to use it. Just a simple vest I got off Amazon, and you soak it in the water for about 20 or 30 minutes. And you soak that and you get it cool, and then you wring it out. And what I found is you definitely don't want to wear it right afterwards. You can, but you'll be soaking wet. Essentially, it keeps you cool because you're wet, but the water activates the vest and it makes the vest cool. With that, I wore it the day before yesterday, and it was about 100 degrees on my front porch. And what I found is it kept me cool, and it was very nice on my porch that I got to sit outside, and I didn't feel overheated or get that sick feeling that I get when I get really hot. But my problem that I had, the problem that I had with this is, first of all, I was soaking wet. Secondly, it was so hot, it was terrible. When I got up, I almost couldn't walk. My legs stopped working. My symptoms were really bad. Yesterday, it was about 112 degrees on my front porch, so I didn't bother sitting outside with the vest. However, I put it in my shower since it was still wet, and I let it sit there, and this morning, I removed it. And it's still cool. It's still cool to the touch from the day before yesterday. Yesterday, it was still kind of wet and cool, but I didn't want to put it on because I was fearful of the fact that if I did go outside, I wouldn't be able to get back in. It's very hard for me to walk, and I got 2 steps into my house. With that, I've got a handrail, and it's normally really easy, but I couldn't pick up either one of my legs. The cooling vest, it seems to work really well, but my problem with the vest is if you have MS, or if your MS looks anything like mine, your symptoms will still get worse. You don't feel hot or overheated, but your body reacts like it's very hot, very overheated. And so that's what I found for the cooling vest. I think for somebody such as myself, it would work really well in, let's say, the mid to high 80s. That would give me the ability to go outside and hopefully still be able to walk. But when it's really hot, there's just pretty much nothing that can be done for somebody like me. I felt cool sitting outside. Like I said, I sit outside for like, a half hour in the shade, of course, on my porch. But like I said, it was about 100 degrees. And when I got up to come in to use the restroom, I almost couldn't walk. So the cooling vest, it seems to work the best and gets cool. You soak it really well, and then you wring it out. You want to soak it for about 30 or 40 minutes. By the way, you don't want to just get it wet and wring it out and throw it on. You want to soak it so that way it gets plenty wet and it activates the cooling of the vest. I think it'll work a lot better if you use it later on. Like, put it in your shower, somewhere where you can wring it out and let it drip a little bit. Because no matter what, it's still wet and it's activated by the water. So you're going to be soaking wet. My back was soaked. The chair I was sitting in outside on the porch, the whole back was just covered in water. So you don't really want to use the vest sitting inside. I mean, you can, but be prepared for whatever you're sitting in to be wet. So that's my main complaint about it is you're wet, no matter what. But like I said, ultimately, it works well for keeping cool, though, because like I said, it is still cool to the touch, inside and outside, and it's been 2 days. It's not wet anymore, but I would venture it outside with this vest on if it was, like I said, in the 80s, or maybe about 90 or so. I'm going to test it again to see how it works. But for me, my use, it really doesn't do a lot for keeping me cool in the extreme heat. I physically feel all right. I can sit out. It was so nice. I used to love to sit outside and bake in 120 degree dry weather. It was glorious. And now with MS, like most of you or other people, even if you don't have MS, if you have a neurological issue, a lot of people might be affected by symptoms. And one of the symptoms is extreme heat. And for me, it's heat and extreme cold. Extreme cold, I lock up. So that's no better than the heat, really. A little bit better because I can still manage a little bit better. The heat just takes it out of me, just puts me down for the count. It was so hot yesterday that I ran my air conditioner all day at 69 degrees and the temperature rose to 76 degrees in my house, even with the AC on. I know I was using a lot of electricity and stuff, but without my air conditioner, I would have been dead in the water. But back to this vest, though. The vest works really, really well for keeping cool for sure, especially if you're working outside. Even if you want to go outside and do work and you might get hot, the vest works excellent for that stuff. Like I said, I didn't feel like I was getting overheated, but my body reacted with extreme my body reacted with extreme symptoms of like foot drop. My good leg wouldn't really work, go up the stairs. So the vest, in my opinion, it's like a 50-50. If you're looking to keep cool, it's definitely a good thing. If you're wanting it to manage your symptoms so you can tolerate the heat, I would be very wary of that. I would definitely test it out in a cooler climate, not over 90 degrees. I would do it while it's a little bit cooler. Because like I said, I did it when it was about 100, and then yesterday it was about 110, 112 on my front porch. So I didn't even bother going outside because when it was cooler, about 100, and my symptoms started acting up, I had a hard time walking. So the vest works really, really well for keeping cool. As far as things like, let's say you garden and you just want to stay cooler overall, or maybe go outside when it's in the 70s and maybe your body, like I run a little hot on the hot side. So if I, let's say, was gardening or doing something outside, I could take my vest and it would help keep me cool overall. As far as managing symptoms, like I said, mine still popped up and I still had a lot of issues with it. So I would like to get feedback from everybody else. Do you use a cooling vest? If so, what kind? How well does it work for you? Next up, I will eventually try one of the vests that you put the ice packs in. Now, those seem heavy, and that's one thing I wanted to mention is with this vest being wet and you put it on, your balance is going to be thrown off if you have balance issues, such as like how I have balance issues, such as things like walking and side to side, because the vest is basically like a 15-pound weight vest that you put on. Because remember, it's soaking wet, so you're using up a lot of weight. Water is, it can be very heavy. We all know this. So you're definitely going to be adding a lot of weight to you by putting this vest on. So like I said, it works well outside as far as managing symptoms. I didn't notice. I was cool overall. I didn't get sick to my stomach feeling. I didn't feel sick, but soon as I got up to walk, right then I knew I had a problem. Once I was able to sit inside, like I said, my air conditioner is about 76, but sitting in the air, I was able to walk again. It took me about 20 minutes, but I eventually cooled down and things got better for me. So like I said, if you have to be out in the heat or if you get overheated and you have things to do outside, I would suggest this vest. I think it works great. As far as that, the negative is if you have symptoms such as walking or mobility or balance issues, the vest is going to be a little bit harder to manage. Definitely need somebody to help you put it on and things like that. But I look at my vest here and it works very well. You wear it on the outside of your shirt and it's just a simple little vest. This is the outside. You put it on, the inside's blue. And it activates as soon as it gets cold. I can feel it right now. It's been 2 days and it's still cool to the touch. So they definitely work very well. So I'm going to try to give other vests later this summer a try, but I would suggest maybe one of these for you to try on Amazon. They're less than $30 if you can. It's supposed to get hot, especially here in the Pacific Northwest. So I hope everyone out there stays cool. Thank you for stopping by and checking out my review for the vest.